I booked this one in late July and it sailed on August 31st, 2024. I booked an interior guarantee cabin because it is the most affordable option. I read on Cruise Critic that one can find out which cabin they are assigned to by sending your set sail pass. Mine was already available since it was well past the check-in date of usually 45 days before the sail date, by sending your set sail pass to your Apple Wallet. So the numbers now appear under the barcode, and the numbers after the dash represent your cabin. Of course, it shows exactly what the cabin number is up higher, but if the code is all you have, this is where your stateroom number is. I was assigned room 7233, and that is located forward. I flew to Orlando the day before on August 30th from my hometown north of 49 on Porter Airlines. The seats are 2x2. The seat next to me was empty, so that was amazing. I got all these snacks and a Diet Coke. I could have had wine or beer, but I wasn't yet in the mood for alcohol. We left almost an hour late, but we got there early, so I'll take it. As many know, the airport in Orlando is approximately 45 miles or 73 kilometers from Port Canaveral, the cruise port. So it's not a quick, easy, and cheap taxi or Uber ride. Ride sharing is king in Orlando, especially for a solo cruiser or a couple. If you're bringing the family, maybe not, but it's something to consider. There are plenty of ride sharing options in Orlando. You just need to Google it. I used GoPort in Orlando to coordinate a one-night hotel stay and all transportation. It would not let me book for one person, so I booked for two, even though I was solo. I stayed at the Holiday Inn Orlando Airport. The transportation from the airport to the hotel was provided by the hotel shuttle, so I called the hotel and waited approximately 30 minutes to be picked up in an area full of other people waiting for shuttles at about 8:30 p.m. in a well-lighted area, and I felt safe. I was picked up and was the only passenger in the van. The driver was friendly and kind. I then checked in and was assigned to room 534. It's always a relief to finally get to my hotel room in Florida. The room was very nice, clean and comfortable. The staff at the front desk were pleasant and efficient. It seemed that this is a connecting room. I don't think there was anybody else next door at the time because I heard nothing. The bed was comfortable and I slept like a log. There was an open closet to hang clothes and an ironing board. The bathroom is also clean and pleasant. Full shower. They had Dove soap, shampoo, conditioner, hand and body lotion. Here's what the hotel pool looks like at night from my room, and this is the hotel in daylight. I was now waiting for GoPort to pick up all the folks in this hotel who were going to Port Canaveral. We had to see the lady in a purple t-shirt from GoPort and confirm our registration. We were handed either a ticket or a bracelet, I forget, and then we were directed outside to the bus. The bus was already almost full. We were not the first hotel on their circuit. I sat way at the back on the almost full width bench. We did stop at one more hotel and then we were completely full. I'm not sure how long the people who could not get on the bus had to wait for the next one, but still, I will use GoPort again. The convenience was well worth the price for me. Finally, we got to Port Canaveral Terminal 5, where Adventure of the Seas was waiting for some of us. Many more on the bus were headed on Utopia, which was further away. Check-in at the terminal was quick and easy. There were no lineups, no waiting. By then, it was past noon, and I walked the gangway. And finally stepped on the ship, and I'm on a cruise. I was late for my lunch reservation at Chops, about an hour late, and the restaurant was pretty full. Still, they seated me within about 20 minutes. And here's the lunch menu at Chops. I got some buns and I got my first drink of the cruise, which was a rum punch. I chose shrimp cocktail, the filet mignon, of course, with fries, and the red velvet cake for dessert. By the time I was finished with lunch, our staterooms were ready. So here's my room, interior 7233. It contained 2 cards. I had added my sister to the reservation because, believe it or not, it was cheaper to book for 2 people than for a solo. So my sister just could not make it. On Adventure, the type of C Pass, also your stateroom key card, are the kind that you need to insert into the card swipe door. This means that you need to access the card itself. The best way, in my opinion, is to punch a hole in the card if you can, and do that opposite the arrows on the left here so that it can easily be inserted in the door handle mechanism. Some ships you can tap the card to open the door, but on Adventure in late 2024, that is not the case. Here's a look at interior room 7233, located forward. I felt a little more movement than rooms I choose, usually located aft or the back of the ship. This room has 2 single beds, which are joined together in matrimony, at least for the next 8 days. If you look up at the ceiling above the bed, you will notice the outlines of 2 Pullman beds, so this room could accommodate 4 people. The main problem I see with that is 4 people sharing an intimate closet-sized bathroom and pod shower. Some can always use the public toilets. You can be on the lookout for some restrooms that are a little out of the way and seldom used, and the gym showers can also come to the rescue when needed. In the closet are stored the ladders to climb into the Pullman beds, and the weight limit on both of those is 300 pounds. Those are some very bulky life vests. Here's the laundry bag, costs $35 US to have a load washed, dried, and folded. If your Crown and Anchor status is Diamond, you get $10 off of that. You only pay $25 US in 2024. Here's a TV which faces the love seat, pile of drawers for storage, and a cooler behind the door under the TV. It's not a fridge. It doesn't turn anything cold, but can keep drinks reasonably cool. Definitely not cold enough for white wine. You need a bucket and some ice for that, which can easily be arranged with your stateroom attendant. Here are the only 2 North American outlets in the entire room. There is a European outlet tucked on the right side of the desk, so bring a USB hub to be able to charge all your devices. I like to have a mattress topper on my bed because I find the beds on Royal a bit too firm. The toppers really make a difference. I was glad to see they were already placed on the mattress, and there's even more than one. Here's a look at the typical Voyager class bathroom. Oh, and if you wondered about the water pressure, it's not great. At least not in this room during this trip. Here's the Royal Promenade from Deck 7. There are chairs here, nice spot to people watch. Utopia was brand new at the time, and she was also docked at Port Canaveral, a bit of a distance away. I did feel a bit of cruise ship envy there. Also, the Disney Wish. So this very empty and sad area is at the front of the ship on Deck 12. The pool area is so busy, but here there's nothing at all going on. Some ships have mini golf here, but on this ship though, it's closer to the back. And it's 2 stories, so that's different and interesting. Here's the solarium, the adult-only area for 18 plus. Nice and quiet here. I spent many hours reading in this area, mostly in the shade, and the main pool area with great live music. I then remembered that I should head over to the main dining room to both admire the grand and elegant space, but also check where my table is. As shown on my C-Pass, I'm assigned 5 p.m. dining on Deck 4, Table 419. So I'm on the hunt for Table 419. I want to see where it is, what size of table it is, etc. Found it. Table 419 is a table for 8 people. I returned at about 5:10 p.m. just before they closed the doors and went to the table because I now knew where it was and saw a large family of mom, dad, 2 kids, plus grandpa and grandma. I walked past the table, turned around and headed out of the main dining room to the buffet. I could have asked for a different table. I could have asked to go my time. Does one have to ask to do my time? I don't think anyone checks that. I could have asked for a later seating, but I did none of that. I kind of regret it because I really like the main dining room, but maybe next time. I'm now sitting on the promenade deck, which is deck 4. It's a quiet spot to wait for sail away, and it's raining. But no big deal because deck 4 is covered. Now the rain has stopped and we started moving, and here's what I saw in the water as we were sailing away. Mama and baby dolphin. I didn't see the baby until later when I looked at the footage and aggressively zoomed in. What an amazing, lucky, and fleeting moment. I then visited Bolero's to have a look at the cocktails menu. Here it is. Pause if you need more time for a specific page. I do not have a picture of the bar because I'm an amateur. But here's what I've got. Now it's time for dinner at the Windjammer. Here's my plate. The white stuff, I think, is raita over onion bhaji or something similar. The Freestyle Coca-Cola cup contains peach-flavored Fanta Zero, which is not at all available at home. Very few special flavor sodas are. Have a look at the view from my table. My almost 50 pounds of luggage did not contain a single pen or anything else to write with. I had to purchase a pen. This one cost $7 US, if I remember correctly. I don't remember what I did that night after dinner. There are no records of it. I might have gone to a show, or maybe I stayed up for a party on the promenade. I would have watched that from above. Next day was a sea day, which means we can have lunch in the main dining room. For lunch, we do not need to sit at our designated dinner seat. We just show up on the proper deck and one of the crew will guide you to a table. Love lunch in the main dining room. Here's the menu for that day. And here's my view. I now present my first towel animal of the cruise. They always make me smile. The kids area, Splashaway Bay, was closed and being cleaned. I can only speculate about what happened here. Time for a token slice of Sorrento's pizza. It looks like it could be chicken something. Chicken barbecue or maybe Caribbean dream. And now again, dinner at the Windjammer. I quite enjoyed the food in the Windjammer on Adventure. Time for a walk on deck 4, the promenade, which goes all around the ship. Now we're on the helipad all the way forward, and we're moving, of course, so it's incredibly windy. And it seems we're headed straight towards some rain. And we're back inside in the schooner bar. Again, no photo or footage because, you know, priorities. So here's the drink menu. Pause if you need to. And in case you're wondering, sodas are $3.50, so is juice. Red Bull is $4. Next day was lunch at Giovanni's. On Adventure, it's Giovanni's Table. On some other ships, it can be Giovanni's Kitchen, which has a different menu, or it can be Jamie's Italian. I'm impressed here because I do have some photos of the restaurant and a bit of the view from it. Here's the lunch menu. I have the caprese salad, the seared filet mignon, panna cotta. All delicious. Royal Caribbean has lots of art on board of its ships, and I really appreciate it and enjoy it. The main piece on Adventure is called The Dive. It's made of metal, cable, paint, and gold, apparently. This work extends upward from deck 4, and it touches the ceiling of the promenade, which is the ceiling of deck 8. Its swirling tornado-like form was inspired by the forms that schools of fish sometimes take. It was designed to evoke something a diver would see looking upwards. On September 1st, 2024, also known as Day 3, they featured one of my favorite cocktails as Drink of the Day, the Rum Runner. Drink of the Day, as seen here, was discounted to $11 US compared to the usual $14. $14 US right now translate to approximately $20 Canadian. That's a lot of money for a cocktail. At home in a restaurant, one can purchase a cocktail for $8 Canadian. I had one just the other day. So here's the real thing. It's less visually appealing than the poster, but it's very tasty. When I got back to my room, I found my Chef's Choice plate of goodies, which is a diamond perk. What looks like Rice Krispie squares here are not that. They were so much better. Well, look at that. I found this plaque on the wall. Adventure of the Seas sailed much closer to my home, probably Quebec City. I'm impressed. I would sail out of Quebec City to the Caribbean, but I won't hold my breath. And here we are on day 4, September 2nd, in Willemstad, Curacao. I did not get off the ship that day. I did take a tour on a previous cruise, and I really enjoyed it, especially their chocolate liqueur, which sadly I'm currently out of. Look at the color of that water. Amazing. And here's the floating pedestrian bridge. I spent the day at the pool. Here's a sample of Windjammer buffet lunch later that day. So long, Curacao. Until next time. The ice skating show was very good as usual. I never miss it. It's good music and dancing and occasional acrobatics on ice with beautiful costumes. It's very enjoyable. On deck 10, I found a ship model of Brilliance of the Seas. I have not sailed on this one either. It's on the list. Another towel creature prepared by the amazing stateroom attendant. Wanted to show you the view from the public washrooms on deck 11 on the pool deck. Pretty stunning for a public washroom. Hope they don't turn it into an expensive suite. Next day, day 5, on September 3rd, 2024, my little sister's birthday. Bonfeitstag, we're in Oranjestad, Aruba. I remembered suddenly that I had reservations for dinner at Izumi. Izumi is on the Royal Promenade on Adventure, which is unique. I showed up probably an hour late, and there was room for me, so they seated me immediately. I was disappointed, though, because there's no pork gyoza on this menu. I had miso soup. Anne was offered another small plate, so I chose the chicken karaage, which is little bits of fried chicken with sweet chili sauce. Works for me. For the large plates, I think I chose spicy crispy shrimp roll and the snow crab California roll. But I could be wrong. And dessert. Carnival Horizon was in Aruba with us. See you next time, Aruba. Let's have a look at the theater on board called The Lyric. It's very nice. Love and Marriage Show. I never miss it. Day 6 on September 4th, we had a sea day. The weather was threatening to toss us around a bit. I'm watching from the Viking Crown Lounge, and some deck attendants are putting away the loungers and preparing for strong winds. There were also throw-up bags hanging in the stairwells. Let's go upstairs to deck 15 and check out the chapel. The sea is still a bit upset. Had lunch in the main dining room. Here's the menu that day. Pause if you need to. I had the heirloom tomato salad. I had the beef quesadillas and the white chocolate mousse. I really enjoyed it. Dinner was at Johnny Rockets. Here's the menu. Pause if you need to. Here's what I had. Let's walk around deck 11 outdoors, the pool deck. As I've mentioned before, the mini golf is on 2 separate decks on Adventure, which is also rather unique. That night, I watched The Crazy Quest in Studio B. Always very entertaining. If you're interested in the stats for Adventure of the Seas, pause and have a read. Just want to add that this ship was the first one back online after the pandemic of 2020. It left from Nassau. It was the ship of hope for me. Hope that things would get back to normal. And they did. The pub on Adventure is called Duck and Dog. Here's the menu. As always, pause if you need to. I found something I could have at this bar. I've always avoided the pub in the past because I'm not a beer drinker. Pretty in Pink is on this one's menu. Tried it, and I really liked it. The headliner show that night was Oh What a Night. As some might have guessed, it's a tribute to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. I was really pleasantly surprised and grateful that this act came on board Little Old Adventure. And the musicians on board learned to play the music perfectly, and tech people learned the rhythm of the show in a very short time and delivered a superb performance. I was very impressed. I really enjoyed it. Later that night, this game show was on in the Star Lounge. It was entertaining to watch. At Coco Key, Cruise Ship Canyon. Which enormous ship is docked here with us? It's none other than Icon. No cruise ship envy here because the prices on Icon are so out of reach that I've pretty much scraped it out of my future cruise anticipation headspace. It's a curiosity at this point, no more. Now on to one of my favorite places to visit. Harbor Beach is my favorite spot to start the day. There's Skipper's Grill to the left, which I really like getting tacos from if there's no El Loco fresh on the ship. And Adventure doesn't have it, so my lunch was predetermined to be tacos at Skipper's Grill. On the right is the Cracked Coconut Bar, and a server was walking around offering the signature drink of the island, the Coco Loco. Perfect! I walked around a little bit after that. I'm not sure why the Oasis Lagoon pool is empty. I know that the party and many people have moved to Hideaway Beach, but this is not that. After I took the picture, the lifeguards gave the okay for swimmers and waiters to get back in. I spent the afternoon at Breezy Bay, mostly in the water. There were no stinging jellies this time. There sometimes are. It was a gorgeous day. And now I'm making my way back to Adventure. Found the dreaded disembark instructions with the luggage tags in my stateroom back on board. Very sad. We're leaving Coco Key, an icon, behind. Until next time.